Welcome to American Nightmares, where the veil between the living and the dead frays at the edges, revealing terrors that linger in the shadows of everyday life. I'm your host, and tonight we're unraveling 10 spine-chilling tales of ghostly encounters captured on camera, raw, unfiltered, and straight from the heart of fear. From the haunted staircases of South Carolina to abandoned laboratories on forgotten highways, these stories prove that the supernatural doesn't need an invitation to invade. Buckle up, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and brace yourself for a journey into the unknown. This is American Nightmares. In the quiet town of Lancaster, South Carolina, where history clings to the Spanish moss and antebellum homes, Noah Carter thought he'd found his dream fixer-upper. A sprawling Victorian built in 1887, the house exuded charm. High ceilings, oak banisters, and a wraparound porch perfect for lazy summer nights. But charm came with a price, one Noah would pay in sleepless terror. It began the first week of October 2022, mere days after Noah moved in. At 3 a.m., a steady tap, tap, tap echoed from the bottom of the grand staircase, rhythmic and deliberate, like a metronome counting down to doom. Noah, a 29-year-old carpenter with a skeptic's heart, dismissed it as settling pipes, but the tapping persisted, growing louder each night, always at the witching hour. "Hello? If you're there, stop it," he called into the dark, his voice swallowed by the house's oppressive silence. The response? The taps accelerated, frenzied, as if mocking his plea. "This is creepy as hell," he muttered, filming the stairwell with his phone, the footage later uploaded to his budding American Nightmares channel. Curiosity drove Noah to the Lancaster Historical Society. Dusty records revealed the house's original owners, the Hood family, led by Judson Hood, a prominent mayor in the 1880s. Wealthy and influential, the Hoods were Lancaster's elite, until tragedy claimed them all. Judson died of a heart attack in the parlor in 1899. His children succumbed to fever and accidents, one by one. Most chilling was Mary Polk Hood, Judson's wife, who fell down the staircase on October 17, 1895, breaking her spine. Immobilized, she lingered for days at the stair's base, her moans echoing until death silenced her. Every Hood met their end within these walls, and the house earned its grim moniker, the Hood Home. Noah's blood ran cold. The tapping always peaked in October, crescendoing on the 17th. He filmed the stairwell nightly, capturing the relentless knocks, sometimes accompanied by a faint, feminine hum, a lullaby warped by time. "Mary, I know it's you," he challenged one night, goosebumps prickling his skin. "It's been 106 years, let it go." The taps paused, then erupted in a violent staccato, shaking the banister. Noah's dog Bailey whimpered, refusing to descend the stairs. The activity escalated when friends visited. Knocks migrated upstairs, pounding on bedroom walls like fists demanding entry. "Don't do that," Noah shouted, his friend Sarah clutching her phone, filming as the group cowered. Bailey's barks turned to howls, and Sarah's scream cut the air. "Noah, it's in the hall." The footage, shaky but clear, showed a shadow flitting past the doorway, tall, feminine, with a limp that mirrored a fall. But Mary's spirit wasn't content with knocks. One night, Noah awoke to Bailey's growls and a new sound, whispers, sharp and urgent, chanting his name. He grabbed his camera, heart pounding. "Are you trying to say something, Mary?" A disembodied voice hissed back, "Leave." Noah sprinted to his room, barricading the door. The next week, the entity's intent turned deadly. At 1 a.m., roommates screamed, mistaking bangs for a break-in. Noah stumbled outside to find the porch ablaze, flames licking the siding. A passerby's 911 call saved them, but the fire's origin baffled investigators. Noah sold the house in 2023, fleeing Mary's wrath. But the story didn't end. On October 17, 2024, a year after the sale, a second fire, starting at 3 a.m., reduced the Hood home to ash. The family inside escaped, but the fire chief reported no cause, only a lingering scent of lavender, Mary's favorite perfume. Noah's final American Nightmares post shook with disbelief. 3 years of my life, gone, Mary won. Was it a vengeful spirit, or coincidence fueled by old wiring? On American Nightmares, we lean toward the former. If you're in Lancaster, beware the stairs. Mary's still tapping. Craigie Thompson, a 42-year-old contractor from rural Georgia, never believed in ghosts. His wife's grandmother's house, a 1930s bungalow in Macon, stood empty for 3 years after her death in 2019. Craigie took on the renovation in 2025, planning to flip it for profit. 2 months of sweat, new drywall, fresh paint, oak floors restored, ended in a moment that shattered his skepticism. On the final day, tools packed, Craigie did a last walkthrough, phone filming for a before and after reel. As he locked the front door, a flicker caught his eye. A pale hand, bony and translucent, peeking from behind the living room curtain, fingers curling as if beckoning. His heart stopped. "No way," he whispered, zooming in. The hand vanished. The house was empty. No furniture, no squatters, just dust motes dancing in slanted light. Craigie re-entered, checking closets, the attic, even crawling under the porch. Nothing. He posted the clip to American Nightmares, expecting ridicule. Instead, it went viral, amassing 5 million views. Skeptics cried, "AI." But Craigie countered, "I've been here daily for months. It's empty. I'd know." The hand wasn't new. Weeks earlier, during an initial walkthrough with his 6-year-old daughter Lily, she'd giggled, offering her stuffed bunny to thin air. Craigie, amused, snapped photos. Reviewing them later, he froze. A spectral hand reached toward Lily, its outline faint but unmistakable. Alone in the house, they'd had no company. The clincher came post-viral. Lily's tablet, left in the car during renovations, held a photo Craigie hadn't taken, a woman in a 1940s dress, smiling sadly. His wife, Ellen, gasped. It was her grandmother, Margaret, dead since 1987. The attic yielded the original photo, the only known image of Margaret, tucked in a locked trunk. How had it appeared on Lily's device? Craigie's follow-up video for American Nightmares was somber. "I'd rather find a squatter. At least I'd have answers." Was Margaret's spirit guarding her home, reaching for her great-granddaughter? Or was something darker mimicking her form? The house sold, but Craigie avoids Macon now. On American Nightmares, we say, renovations stir more than dust. Eric Garner, a 38-year-old mechanic from Boise, Idaho, lives a nomadic life, moving every few years for work. But for 2 years, something has followed him, across state lines, from apartment to house, an entity that grows angrier with every attempt to banish it. Eric's American Nightmares submissions, raw and unpolished, document a haunting that refuses to relent. It began in a Tucson rental in 2023, footsteps pacing his bedroom ceiling, though he lived on the top floor. Salt lines and sage smudging only provoked it. Lights flickered, mirrors cracked. In Boise, 2025, the entity escalated. One night, Eric's dogs, Rusty and Pip, woke him with frantic barks. Loud bangs shook his bedroom door, like a battering ram. Flashlight and camera ready, Eric filmed, "Let's see what you've got." Pip sniffed nervously, tail low, as Eric swept the house. A breeze grazed his neck, untraceable in the sealed home. 6 minutes in, he noticed absences. A cross from the living room wall, a photo of his late mother from the fridge. Gone, though he'd never left the hall. Then the window. 2 small, childlike hands pressed against the glass, smudging the pane. As Eric approached, a face materialized, pale, eyeless, mouth stretched in a silent scream. He bolted upstairs, dogs in tow, locking himself in until dawn. Eric's clips, shared on American Nightmares, drew thousands of comments. Demon, not ghost. Get a priest. He tried exorcisms, shamans, even moving again. Each effort strengthened the entity. Objects now levitate, and scratches mark his arms. Eric's latest post: "It knows my name." Is it a vengeful spirit tied to his past, or a malevolent force claiming ownership? American Nightmares warns, some shadows don't stay behind. Christian, host of YouTube's Urbex Hill, thrives on urban exploration. His 500K subscribers hooked on his dives into America's forgotten places. In September 2025, he tackled a derelict school in rural Ohio, built in 1920 and shuttered in 2011. Locals whispered of hauntings, children's laughter in empty halls, desks rearranging overnight. Christian, armed with a GoPro, expected creaky floors, not a descent into terror. The school was a time capsule. Peeling chalkboards, scattered textbooks, air thick with mold. At 10 minutes in, a bang echoed from a hallway. Christian panned, missing a dark figure, tall, cloaked, crossing a doorway, caught only in post-production. "The decay's wild," he narrated, oblivious. At 29 minutes, the true horror unfolded. A classroom door, rusted shut, beckoned. Inside, a barricade of stacked furniture, chairs, desks, a teacher's podium, draped with tattered sheets covering a hole to another room. Christian tugged the sheets. A scream, primal, inhuman, tore through the silence, vibrating his bones. He fled, footage shaking, the scream chasing him into the night. Posted to American Nightmares, the clip hit 10 million views. Viewers debated, homeless squatter? Ghostly guardian? Christian's analysis leaned paranormal. No one could live there, no food, no tracks. The school's history revealed a 1950s fire, trapping a janitor who screamed until he burned. Was it his echo, or something squatting in the ruins? American Nightmares. Empty buildings aren't always vacant. Christian, host of YouTube's Urbex Hill, thrives on urban exploration. His 500K subscribers hooked on his dives into America's forgotten places. In September 2025, he tackled a derelict school in rural Ohio, built in 1920 and shuttered in 2011. Locals whispered of hauntings, children's laughter in empty halls, desks rearranging overnight. Christian, armed with a GoPro, expected creaky floors, not a descent into terror. The school was a time capsule. Peeling chalkboards, scattered textbooks, air thick with mold. At 10 minutes in, a bang echoed from a hallway. Christian panned, missing a dark figure, tall, cloaked, crossing a doorway, caught only in post-production. "The decay's wild," he narrated, oblivious. At 29 minutes, the true horror unfolded. A classroom door, rusted shut, beckoned. Inside, a barricade of stacked furniture, chairs, desks, a teacher's podium, draped with tattered sheets covering a hole to another room. Christian tugged the sheets. A scream, primal, inhuman, tore through the silence, vibrating his bones. He fled, footage shaking, the scream chasing him into the night. Posted to American Nightmares, the clip hit 10 million views. Viewers debated, homeless squatter? Ghostly guardian? Christian's analysis leaned paranormal. No one could live there, no food, no tracks. The school's history revealed a 1950s fire, trapping a janitor who screamed until he burned. Was it his echo, or something squatting in the ruins? American Nightmares. Empty buildings aren't always vacant. On a desolate stretch of U.S. Highway 50 in Nevada, known as the loneliest road in America, TikTok user Rodriguez and friends stumbled into the uncanny. In July 2025, their road trip detoured when they spotted an abandoned laboratory, rusted chain link, shattered windows, and a faded sign hinting at Cold War experiments. Curiosity won, they parked to explore. Phone cameras rolling, they approached. A steel door, half ajar, began to move, creaking shut, then swinging wide, then shut again. "No wind," Rodriguez narrated, panning to still trees. "This is paranormal." The group froze as the door's rhythm grew erratic, slamming with force. Then inside, a figure, dark and humanoid, stood motionless in a broken window, watching. Its head tilted, unblinking, as if cataloging their fear. "It's a person," one friend screamed, but the figure didn't move, didn't speak. They fled, tires screeching. Rodriguez's American Nightmares post sparked theories. Government ghost? Mutant experiment? Declassified files hint the lab tested bioweapons in the 1960s with unexplained casualties. Was it a spirit of a test subject, or something science couldn't contain? American Nightmares. Some doors should stay shut.